I've been reviewing Star Trek Con, which is an audio drama they're dropping weekly on Star Trek on their YouTube channel and I think on Spotify also. Now, it's kind of leveled off for views in terms of people watching the actual Star Trek Con by episode 7. They're getting about 10,000 views each, and I don't know what's happening on Spotify. They don't give those numbers, but that's what we're seeing on YouTube. And I am just rolling over frustrated every single time I listen to one of these episodes, and I'm trying to not get too upset about the portrayal of Khan, which is just consistently not the way that Khan was in Space Seed or Wrath of Khan. He's like this kind of whipped beta cuck kind of Khan who's like torn and doesn't quite understand. He doesn't even understand right and wrong. And it's like, okay, you're treating him like he's a child who like it has to learn things. And Marla, the gal from the Enterprise who came down with him and became his wife and whatnot on there, she's lecturing him and trying to get him to be more Starfleet. And he's like wrestling with that in this. Now, Khan was not a child. If you remember, he was one of the augments who like controlled a large portion of Earth, took it over with armies, was ruling it like a tyrant, was ruling millions, if not billions, of people. And so this is not somebody who like doesn't understand what's going on, who like just needs to be taught what it is, like he's a teenager growing up or something like that. It shows just how poorly these people write because they don't have any life experience. None of the new modern writers have any life experience. They're all the same, cut from the same cloth, sort of extreme left-wing, usually white female who wants to push gender identity politics into everything. And that's all. And then they're just terminally online, right? And so they have this way of talking and way of speaking that it ends up everybody's voice ends up being their voice through it, including somebody like Khan. And I know there's multiple writers on this, but I know one of them is female, and I don't know how they divide up the writing duties or anything like that. But Khan often exudes kind of feminine energy when the whole point in Space Seed is he was so freaking masculine that Marla couldn't even freaking resist him. It just doesn't make any sense. And so it's tough talking about this every single episode. This is episode 7 now, because it's kind of the same critiques of it, that this just is not Khan, and it's frustrating. This one, of course, is called I Am Marla, to really just remind you that even though they're going to call something Star Trek Khan, it's not really about Khan. It's going to be about the women and be about something else. And this is also a complaint I have with general Star Trek right now, is Picard wasn't about Picard. It was about these random women running around while Picard was a feeble old man, right? Strange New Worlds, if you look at the bridge crew, it's the same sort of setup. It's, well, we have to have Spock there. Pike and Spock, Spike and Pock. But otherwise, we're going to have all these women running around the ship, and they're going to be the leads, right? And so that seems to be what Star Trek is doing with I mean, obviously, Discovery was minority female lead the show, right? So was Lower Decks, right? I mean, you see the pattern. It's everything. And when you get that kind of thing, it's just really rough. So let's get into episode 7 and talk about what it was about. In this so far, we found out that Alpha Ceti 6 is destroyed and Alpha Ceti 5 is a dying world. There's problems now where it was something they could live on before. It's now not. There's an alien species that crashed there, and they've got technology and they're telepathic beings. And they're kind of, and they were about to fight Khan and his people, but they're super nice and they're just super understanding, and they just want to talk things out and help out as much as they can. And it's such a weird dynamic because it doesn't quite make sense within the history of all this stuff. And that's kind of where, in one of Khan's people last episode, went and attacked them against Khan's will, is kind of where we left off. And then the lesbian couple who was trying to have a baby lost the baby last episode, and so now they're just there. And so it's painful. It's really painful. And I don't understand how people are liking this. It's like there's good production quality, and this is everything with Kurtzman Star Trek, right? You've got high production quality on Strange New Worlds with tons of lens flare and beautiful sets and all this stuff, window dressing galore, like huge budgets. But like the stories just don't work, and that's what we have here as well. Like a really nice audio production. Like I would die to have a budget to make my own audio productions like this for science fiction or whatnot. But at the same time, it's like the story's terrible. And that's what we have with Khan here. All right, so hit the like, subscribe button. If you like my thoughts on storytelling and the like, I have a new series called Valiant Frontiers, and this is about real space exploration, action adventure, that real sense of wonder that science fiction used to have, where it's not just a bunch of navel-gazing pontificating, which is what this episode of Khan really was about. Each one of these has its own sci-fi concept. Each one of them is like its own episode, and that's my baby here that I'm trying to just get off the ground. So check this out. Get it on Fund My Comic. I'm crowdfunding the whole trilogy right now. I've completed it. I've written it. Book 3 is in edits right now, and we should be ready to go to start sending these out as soon as the campaign closes. So thank you guys so much. It's in the description below, and support our channel. This is Real Sci-Fi. If you like classic Trek, you're going to really enjoy this. All right. So like I said, about down to 10,000 viewers for a Khan overall. It says 7.5K, but by the time it gets to the week, it'll be about 10,000 on YouTube. And I noticed that all of the the comments are like, "This is so great. Why aren't more people listening to this? This is amazing. What an episode." Poor Khan. What do you mean, poor Khan? He's a tyrant, right? And so this is the problem again. Khan is discussing with the aliens what to do, and he doesn't understand. Why would you help me? What? I don't understand. And I'm sitting here like, this is an augment who has an IQ of a gorillion or something, right? And remember that he's both stronger than everybody and he's smarter than everybody. He can't even comprehend that these people would help because they're aliens. In my place, I would just destroy you. It's like, okay, well, you're not really destroying them. You're just listening and talking with them. And the aliens are stupid too because they're telepaths. So they know that he would do that. And they know that eventually he's probably going to betray them, which I'm sure he is in the next couple of episodes, and wipe them all out because he has to. If he doesn't, he's definitely not Khan. There is a theory at this point because these aliens are here. Marla is pregnant and is having complications from it. And also she's got one of those the ear things that's killing her and slowly driving her crazy and whatever, and is going to destroy her. And so they've got a proposition at this point where it's weird they've got so much baby. They did the lesbian baby, they got this baby, lots of babies that are in jeopardy in this. A lot of repeated plot points, right? Again, just poor writing. And with this, they the aliens are like, we can save the baby, but probably not her. And she knows she's gonna die, and she's just like, Khan, do the right thing. And Khan's very upset about it, of course, and kind of whining and kind of crying about it. And I get it. I mean, it's tough to lose your loved one, but again, if you look at Space Seed and the way Khan just backhanded this chick, and he was taking her as a concubine, not as an equal. I mean, come on, just stop. You are writing this character wrong all the way across the board. And to act like he's some bent out of shape husband or whatever about things, and he cares more about her, and he's he's kill the baby, save her. It's another, which is an abortion message, obviously. But it's always the messaging with these people. Again, he'd probably be but in reality, the character of Khan, the megalomaniac narcissist, would he be save her, kill the baby, or would he be I just care about my heir? That's, let's be honest, it'd be the latter if you're going to write the character. So it's just all wrong on this front. And his talk with the aliens was so mind-numbing. Like I said, he acted like he was just dumb. He acted like he was just incapable of comprehending things. It's really painful to listen to, because it's this is not a gorillion IQ person who just took over the world. What's going on? So the aliens are going to let half of their people starve and go find their way elsewhere in hopes that they can save Khan and his people, and then half because there's not enough food or something like that, and they're going to be sheltering in this underground cave when all this happens, and that's it. Now the wraparound of this story is that the Excelsior is out investigating this with some gal, and that there's Tuvok and Sulu, and they're dealing with this lady who's like believes that Captain Kirk was bad and like wrecked Khan, and that the history books are wrong, and she keeps going at this. And in the beginning of this one, they actually like had Tuvok finally push back and be like, okay, you're going too far, you're pushing lies. And she's like, no, I'm not. And she's been lecturing them the entire time, just like Marla's been lecturing Khan the entire time. It's been painful. Like thankfully, like there's a little less lecturing because those characters finally took action in this one. It's like, why are you allowing this to continue? And then she goes back and listens to these logs as she's kind of whimpering sad. And then, of course, Khan's whimpering sad as well. So it's like, I get it. They're tying in things emotionally. It's just wrong for the characters, right? And that's been the deal, the whole deal about this. It's wrong for the characters. If this was outside of Star Trek, if they relabeled this, if they had a person who was exiled on a planet and they were investigating it, and it was not Star Trek, and we didn't have any other backstory to it, I wouldn't hate this as much. I mean, there's still some like annoying parts to it with the identity politics going on, but it's just like they want to do their stories and just kind of ignore part of canon. But the whole point about this is like elaborating on canon, right? And so it's just a very, very painful thing. And that's the problem with every Kurtzman prequel that they do. They want to give you the member berries, but they don't want to do it right. And Star Trek Con is no different. Now, somebody actually posited that the wraparound story is the aliens will escape the planet, and they're going to bring Khan's baby with them, and it's going to be that girl, and then she's going to grow up in Starfleet, and that's what's going to be the onus of all this. I really hope they don't do that, because if they have somebody who got off the world of Ceti Alpha 5 and like it was kind of like it could be known that it happened, I mean, this really just opens up a can of worms to where Wrath of Khan makes no sense. And I just don't want to deal with it. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen. I think there's 2 or 3 episodes left. I think they're doing 9 episodes. Only 2 left. We'll see how it ends, if they can wrap this all together. But so far, we've had 7 episodes where Khan is just this like weakling, quizzling guy who just like gets bossed around by women and then just doesn't really take that much action and doesn't act like a tyrant. He's just kind of misunderstood. And he's not really the smartest cookie in the bunch, even though he's supposed to be. It's absurd, and it's really ruined the character. All right, leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Please hit the like and subscribe button, and please check out my Valiant Frontiers if you like my thoughts on writing and the like. We'll be back soon.